All right, this is the third part and should be the final part, hopefully, if I can get this all done in time, of the videos for Module 3. So this one right here, we're going to focus on different views and how things look and hyperlinks. So for this right here, let's say hypothetically, I don't want to see all of this, for example. Okay, I don't want to see all of this stuff at the exact same time. Maybe I just want to see the subscriber. I don't care about the account number because it really doesn't matter to me. I don't care when it was subscribed since and everything. Okay, so there's certain things that I just don't care about or don't need. So I'm going to go into the View tab and we're going to look at something called Custom Views. Okay, so Custom Views, now we know this normal view. Page break view shows us where the printing would be. Page layout shows us the headers and the footers and the margins and everything else. Well, this one right here is showing us what we want to pick and choose. So for example, custom views, I'm going to click on this and there's none in here. So I'm going to click add. And when I add this, I'm going to get to name it. So I'm going to name it standard view, including view, print settings, hidden rows, everything. Yeah, okay. So click all right, we're good to go. This is now my standard view, all of this. If I wanted to say hide this because I could care less about that, I really don't care about this date, hide. I said I don't care about the account number, hide that. Maybe past renewals, I don't really care about that, I guess. Maybe this is the only thing I really care about, subscriptions and expirations. Okay, that might be something that I really want to know about. And again, remember, just because they're gone, A, C, D, G, they're still there. They're just not being seen. So this custom view right here that I create here, I'm going to go to add another one. And we're going to say subscription and expiration. That is not spelled right. Expiration. There we go. That's a little bit better. Never said I was an English major, but I can fix it, right? Okay, so I'm going to click OK. And now we're in this set. So now we're in this custom view of subscriptions and expirations. Go back to custom views. If I click on standard view and say show, now it goes back to this. I go back to custom views and I say I want to see this thing only and click show. Now it shrinks it down to that for me. So that's what the custom views are for. Is it could be very, very beneficial if there's certain things that you definitely want to see or don't want to see. That's something that you would definitely want to use. So custom views from the View tab, Workbook Views group, Custom Views selection. Okay. Other things inside of here are in the View tab, there's different new windows. You can make a second window if you want. So in the Windows group, if I click on New Window, it makes an entirely new window of the exact same thing. You can see, right? So let's say in A3, I'm going to type this thing in. It doesn't mean anything, whatever. But if I click on this one, in A3, guess what popped up? It's because they are the same thing. If I said, this is weird, you can see this is being typed in at the exact same spot as this one. Okay, so the benefit of doing this is, depending on how long this is, maybe I want to scroll way down here and I want to compare some things and I don't have enough on the same sheet. Well, this is one way you can do this. We can also go to, let me go back into this one, arrange all. While they're all here, I could tile them horizontal, vertical, cascade. I'm going to go to horizontal and go side by side on this one. Whoops. Now I have all things actually opened up here. So that one I don't really care about because that was the one we, whoops. This is the one that was that fake one, right? So I'm going to close that. Don't save that one. All right, and then this one right here, sorry, you can see is the part 2. It's the same exact thing. This is the same file I had before. And now I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to shrink this one down a little bit. Give me a second here. You can see that this is the exact same stuff. Okay. So if I scroll to the top here, I scroll to the top here, I'm getting the same data. What's the benefit of this thing? Well, you could actually freeze these things. You could do view side by side too. But I guess the point really that you would care about is you could actually see what's going on in all of these. So, and again, in arrange all, you don't have to do it that way. You could do different active pieces and everything. But if I wanted to change this and still see what's going on this piece, you can do that way too. But it's just a second window. That's all it is. So when you close it out, nothing happens. Nothing changes from it. Okay? So I hope you guys think that's decent anyway. Let me resize this so it fits perfectly inside of here again. Let me get this one in. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now we're back to normal. To be totally truthful to you guys, I barely ever use that, but it is something that, you know, you should be able to see and use. So in the View tab, I showed you guys that piece all at once. Home tab, Format Cells Group. The cells group, Format Cells Group, you could do things inside of here for Protect the Sheet or Lock Cells or Format Cells, okay? So the fun thing about this is Protection or Review tab changes the group you want to protect things. So if you wanted to protect the sheet, I could select locked cells, select unlocked cells. We want to put a password on this so nobody can mess with this stuff. That's kind of a cool thing. So I'm going to cancel. What I'm going to do is grab, say, I don't know, this stuff here. Go back to Format, and I'm going to lock these cells. These are now locked. You cannot change them. Now when I go back into the Review tab, I'm going to go over to the Changes group. There's something that says Protect the Sheet. If I protect the sheet, it's going to say, do you want to protect selected locked cells and unlocked cells? Yes. The password here, if you forget your password, you are up a creek. You can't get it back. So you need to know what it is. So I'm going to type in capital C, capital I, capital S, 115. And it's going to ask me, do I know what this is? C-I-S, all caps, 115. And click OK. And now what's going to happen here is I can still select these things, but if I try to, what I do? Did I not select it? I'm sorry. Protect the workbook. There we go. Password's optional. I'm not going to do it. Okay, so inside of here, again, it's not going to let me save that thing. So I'm trying to press enter, and it's not letting me do it. So that's going to say, okay, well, you protected these. You said don't touch these cells. You locked them, so now they're locked. So if I click on unprotect the sheet, type the password in, capital C, capital I, capital S, 115. Click OK. Now it's unprotected. I'm going to go back to the Home tab, Format Group, and say unlock the cell. And now if I type in this, year, I'll just put year. Now I can do it. See? So there's a difference on that piece. Again, it's personal preference if you want to use that. I barely use it. Unless you're an actual business owner or company owner or something, you're probably never going to worry about that type of a thing. So lastly, I want to show you guys something in here about freeze panes. Again, in the View tab, Windows Group, there's something called freeze panes. Now you could freeze the top row, freeze the first column, whatever the top or first column is. So for example, if I'm over here, this is now the first top row here, I should say. Top row is now here. So if I go to freeze top row, you see this line that came up here. 9 is frozen. Now if I can scroll, I'm going to be able to compare 9 to every other thing. This could be handy, maybe not for 9, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to say unfreeze. But if I go to maybe this one right here, it's going to freeze everything above it and everything to the left if I click on freeze panes. So you can see the little blue one in the corner, anything above it is hashed out, and everything to the left is hashed out. That means those are stuck and everything else will move. So if I click on this, you see there's a line that comes here, and there was a line that came up here. So if I scroll down, those titles, subscriptions and expiration, I know what these columns mean now. And furthermore, if this was longer, I could scroll off to a side, and this first column always stays the same. That is a very, very convenient thing. So I highly recommend being able to use this. So unfreeze panes, it goes right back to normal. When I scroll, it just, everything disappears as normal. Okay. It's definitely pretty cool. So one other thing I want to talk to you guys about is the File tab. We don't really use this one that much. I mean, obviously, other than open and save and things like that. But inside of here, if you go into the info, there's something in here that says protect the workbook. Inside of here, you can actually protect these things. Mark as final, encrypt the whole thing with a password, protect the current sheet. You can get all these things inside of here as well. The other really, really nice thing inside of this part is over in the properties group here. Show document panel. If you click on that, the document panel is right here now. And we could put it in or not put it in. If you want it here, you can. I'm going to exit out. Go back to here. And instead of doing it in the property panel here, I'm just going to add inside of here categories and tags, titles. So a tag might be something that you could search your computer for in case you lost it. So for example, CIS 115, Milazzo, my last name, any keyword like that. If I type these things in, if I ever lost the file, didn't know where I saved it to, how many of us have actually saved anything and have no idea where it went to? You could type this into a search into your computer, and any file that has these tags in it will automatically pop up, so you never actually lost your file. It's extremely beneficial, so I would highly recommend that. Again, categories you could put into that. You could put a title into here. So this is example for mod 3. Okay, those things like that that you can actually do inside of here. Okay, and the very last thing I'm going to talk about in the last like 3 minutes that I got is going to be inserting hyperlinks. So a hyperlink is very, very cool. Insert tab, that's why I said insert hyperlinks. You go all the way over to the links group, hyperlink. Okay. The ones we're going to do right now is we're going to do in other workbooks or in this document right now. We're not doing on the web yet, so that's fine. But I'm going to say place in this document. I can make a link to, say, sheet number 2. It's going to go type the cell reference. It's going to go to cell A1 in sheet number 2. Text to display, I'm going to click go to sheet 2 cell A1. The screen tip is something if you scroll over it's going to pop up and say something. So I'm going to say click here if you want to go to sheet 2. Okay. So that's what's going to happen so far. I'm going to click OK. And right now you see this hyperlink, this little this plus sign here turns into a finger to click. This is the screenshot, right, or the screen tip. Click here if you want to go to sheet 2. This is the cell to display. So if I click on this, go to sheet 2, cell A1. If I click on this, I am now in A1 in sheet 2. If I want to go back, I can say go back to example sheet, cell, I don't know, G6. Okay. So if I want that to be already typed in there, I can click on that, go to links, click hyperlinks, and that's automatically in the text to display. I can adjust this, change it, whatever I want to do. Go to screen tip, go back. Nice, short, sweet, and easy. Click on example 1, because that's the sheet that I want to go back to. And cell reference, I said I want to go back to G6, so I'm going to go back to G6. Click OK. And now I have the cell reference. Go back for the screen tip. If I click on this, now I'm going back to G6, and there it was. Okay, you can do this to other workbooks as well. For example, to edit it, if you go someplace else, and you can either arrow up to get the cell back, or if you click on hold control and click on the cell, you can select this piece as well. Okay, I like to arrow into it. It makes it easy. So I go back to hyperlink and I can edit this. So instead of this, I can actually create a new document, existing file or web page. I can pick a different file on this thing, like let's say the part 1 one that we just did. I just did that, 20 minutes ago? So if I click on that, I could look inside of here and it's going to open it up. So click OK. And now when I click on this, it's going to find the file on the computer and it's going to open it up for me. And that was the end of part 1. And this was the end of part 2 file that I had, and then the beginning of part 3. So you have to have the file on your computer in order for that to work. That was on my computer, so that's why I was able to work. When you guys do your projects, you need to download the file to your computer. Okay. Same thing with backgrounds. When you go to page layouts, if you're going to go to here, backgrounds, you could pick a picture from a file, anything, where it doesn't really matter. So a picture I could find real quick. Let me go to, I don't even know. Let's go to this file, NCCC, my classes, CIS 115, online assignments. Let's go to this one, extra materials. Let's pick up the Sabres one. Okay, now it included this as a background. Now it's a bad background for sure because I can't see anything, but it does work. And I'm going to go to Home tab. Backfill is white. So you can see that it's a background fill. So that should be everything for the files for Chapter 3, for Module 3 that is. If you have any questions, please let me know. Email me, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.